Fancy intro music, yeah! Woo! Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel where today we're taking a look at TNG Arc 4 in Star Trek Fleet Command, and we're going to see how I graded it, but preferably as well how you graded it. If your synapses have been firing and those neurons are going off with very vibrant thoughts. All we got to know in the comment section below, right down there. See, you could give your opinion, and I really want to see what you have to say, because I'll be honest, compared to last month, this grade is not going to be very strong for me. We're going to go step by step, go through the different things that have come in this arc and discuss them one by one, applying each a grade, and then I'm going to give an overall grade, which is kind of the theme of what we've done before. But I think it's important for us to go and do this so that we can provide feedback to the dev team based on how it ran for future iterations, maybe changes that need to be made or whatever. So we're going to start with the Exocomps feature, which I'm gonna be honest, and I know not everybody will agree, and it's fine if you have a differing opinion. Once again, put that differing opinion down in the comment section below. It's welcome. I swear to you it is. I want it. I embrace it. But anyway, Exocomps to get a very big meh for me. Quoting Ripper here. Shout out Ripper. Meh. We'll talk about him in a little bit. I'm sorry, there's a couple of Exocomps that really matter to me. The only ones that get me super happy are like the ship XP ones. I think that's a great one. But most of the stuff that's in here is just very, very blah. I don't really care. And they're not super helpful because they're based on the research style of improving your ship. And to be just completely forward with you, it's a copy and paste of the research system. So that's why when you put in for example, let's just use the building one that y'all saw me do. If you put in this 20% build speed one, this one for me, I think is about an 8% actual increase. It's not a pure 20% because it's working the same way how and with the research does off the base. So it's a very blah, very, very meh. It doesn't make it bad, and as DJ has pointed out to me when we've had our conversations, it is free. Over time, you'll accumulate a lot of these and be able to use them in the game how you so choose. But just in general, I don't feel like they're that overwhelming for an entire month's release. Like a big feature, the Meridian was far superior, which added a better way to get Isogen, a faster way to get Isogen, more PvP through OPC hunting, and by the way, get the hoodie, t-shirt, check it out. OPC is OPC. But in general, I'm just not excited about this. And I give the Exocomps as a release a C-. If this is your main feature that comes into the game, a blah. It's just the overall sentiment of it is very blah. Yes, it's there. Yes, the things work. It's cool, I guess. But yeah, I mean, who gets excited about that? First of all, if you actually use your Exocomps, like, do you remember to actually go and turn these bad boys on? I'll be honest, I forgot to turn on my gas mining one. I'm literally mining gas right now. But because it's not a feature that really gives you that sense of like, hey, you've got to use this, I don't remember to turn it on because it doesn't have that much of an impact in my game. But hopefully we'll see something better come next month. Next up, we'll go through the officers, Troi and Worf. Now, quality-wise, they work. And so the opinion I'm about to give is not based on them being like broken officers. Now, as you can see in the background, I do not have either. I decided to not go after Troi in the second leaderboard, which, I mean, I probably semi-regret. You see, I've got her at 68 out of 100. She works. And you get into this big discussion about what's better, running Gala, running Troi, because Gala's going to take out the critical damage, but still allow criticals to happen. She will take out criticals happening, period. I think a great point's been made by several people, including on DJ's show, and then also in my Discord and the official Discord, that she's probably more important for things that are coming out in the future, more so than stuff that's in right now. And at least I hope that's the case. But it's a very, and that's kind of the feeling you're going to get. And then you got Worf, who, as a rare, I mean, I just keep thinking in my head, this is an uncommon officer. If you max out his officer ability, the mitigation use is probably good for a secondary armada crew at the higher levels. It's very, very blah. I mean, honestly, I'm going to give for many reasons, and a lot of this is personal opinion based on just the titles of the officers and what their rankings are, and then what their captain's abilities are, D. I feel like the officers are a huge letdown. In fact, I could go as far as saying an F. The fact that Worf is headlong into battle, but it's about running away from battle. And And the fact that Deanna Troi is an epic officer with her ability based off the movie Nemesis, yeah, big fail for me. I'm sorry, I don't find, not only do I find little value in the officers themselves, I find very little in the actual story of the officers, which is very disappointing for me. Next point is going to be the new TNG missions. Now, missions, I generally give kind of a meh grade. I think that the storyline has been okay. There's been some issues here and there with, like, you know, LaForge in the storyline having the wrong rank and how he introduces himself and things like that. But all that aside, missions, I think, have been an improvement storyline wise. So I think that's a solid B if you're into the missions. If you're not, well, then you're not really going to notice that much of a thing. The battle pass itself is one of the few things that would get a very positive grade for me. The battle pass gets an A. I feel like its rewards return back to being the type of things that we asked for. Heavy in faction credits, getting officer recruit tokens, getting officers themselves, where we got multiple Worf shards. You actually had incentive to go buy the $20 battle pass to get more shards of certain officers. And then you've also got more special mining recruits and TNG recruit chests from the battle pass, which allow you to try to procure some of the officers that we simply have a lot of struggle getting. Not saying that it was enough. We always need more. I'm always here to say more, but in general, I thought that that was good. So I felt like the battle pass had a better return on investment than some of the previous iterations I've had, where it felt like they were just loaded with like away team refresh tokens and stuff. That doesn't hold a lot of value for a lot of players in the game. But this one, I think, had more value. Definitely getting back in that direction. Was it A+? No, not A+. There's definitely some things I would have liked to seen upped a little bit. But overall, I think it was an A. I think it returned back to that, here's why you buy the battle pass type battle pass. So I give it an A for quality there. And then you got a couple other things here. The new avatars and frames definitely shouldn't weigh too heavily in your grading of an arc, in my opinion. But I do think they were good. I definitely love the Worf one. The frames are some really great frames that have come out throughout the TNG series. The Batleth frame, which I missed out on, sadly, is a great pairing with Worf. It's actually a Lieutenant Worf frame, but all of this has been really good. So, I mean, you can give the frames and Avatar an A if that's what you're into. Next, you had event types. Now, events, I'm going to give a C+ to. I still feel like the game is failing to live up to their promise of less eyeball time and less play time in the game. Now, I'm running on the PC client, so some of the events aren't showing up correctly, like Crucible of War, because we have obviously End of the Arc, but there was still a lot of playtime where you have to do the Icarus event, you know, bind with a lot of stuff. Even yesterday, which Sundays are typically pretty heavy. Not only did you have your Swarm Sunday, you had to finish up your Battle Pass. You had your Anomalous Phenomenon, which Sundays have become a very, very heavy day. And it just goes back to, even though what they're providing is valuable in the game, they're simply making you do too much of it to where the eyeball time is too high. I mean, I spent hours in the game yesterday to finish all my stuff. And if you want to do that, this is simply where you're at. And I've got all the ships and research for my level to do that pretty easily. I mean, my Franklin A is no slouch, but you still got to kill 75 total to do both of the events. Anomalous Phenomenon was easier because you could just warp summon a ship to finish it. But, you know, if you want to play the efficiency game and save a lot of that mycelium for like territory battles, then you shouldn't be wasting it just to summon a ship back and forth to quickly finish an event. And then you still had to go grind out your outlaw stuff, which I did, but still, once again, we're getting into that so much to do. So events, a C+ for me. And then I'm not sure if we should really include the PC release, but I guess we can. I give the PC release as an alpha version a C. It's a great start. Definitely not great in terms of if it's a released finished product. Early access is out now, and you can check it out. If you don't have the link to early access, well, we can send it to you, or we can drop it in the comments section, I guess. But the PC is a great starter set. There's definitely some things that need to be worked on. And honestly, the best part about the PC version is Ripper's mod that he put out yesterday. And hopefully they adopt a lot of those features into the main client. But when the mod that comes out literally less than a week after your official version, which took months to design, came out, that's a problem. So shout out Ripper for doing a great job, but also why was it not set up like this to begin with? Once again, going to some of the issues that we have with scope. And then finally, some of the bug fixes that happened. I got to give you a big report on some negatives, and sorry about this, everybody, but some of the good things that were happening in the game. So there's a lot of positives that benefit players that we don't necessarily go over because, well, we don't want them to get patched. And this has actually happened where I've made videos before and things have gotten patched. So I haven't made stuff, but they went ahead and corrected, and I do want to say corrected because they weren't intended to work this way, but there were about a dozen officers that were actually doing double what they were displayed, whether because they were activating twice, like before battle, then during a battle, or just whatever reason. But an example was like Carol Marcus. Carol Marcus used to provide at max an 80% bonus to the energy weapons, and now that's been corrected to do what she displays at 40%. And while I understand that that's not how they were written in terms of described, who was it hurting that something like Instructor Spock and TNG Data and Cadet Kirk did more than they displayed? Why not just correct them to actually be doing what they displayed? Kind of like how you did with Pike. Instead, they took these officers and nerfed them back down to go, no, we're going to knock this back down. And this also includes things like how 7, 8, and 9 and the Borg officers work with their health bonuses and everything. So you take a step back. Now, maybe they didn't intend to do this fix. Maybe it just came through, but this is something that Gregor sent to me and that he has tested all these officers individually, and then I also sent it to a couple of other people to confirm. So hopefully we'll have an update on that in the next couple of weeks. But anytime you take something that was working fine and then you redact it, F, big fail. That's obviously a huge negative. So my final grade for TNG Arc 4, because it really felt like a month of blah, boring, and not that exciting, and which the next generation should never feel like that. And a lot of players left this month feeling like it was just the next generation being stretched out so you could milk money out of it. I give it a D. I mean, really. And that's not supposed to be a pun for Enterprise D. It really just was dang not that good. And that's my thoughts on it, but I want to know your thoughts on it as well. So here's what you got to do. You got to live long and prosper. Looks like this. You got to leave your comments. See this little box right over here? Yeah. Leave your comments down in the comment section below. Like the video if you haven't already. Looks like this. Subscribe and pass this around so we can get everybody's feedback. Not only do we have the TNG Arc 4 feedback room in my Discord, this video will be given to the devs and they of course watch them. So let me know and share this out with your alliance, your Discord, everything. Hopefully this video helps make things better. That's always the goal. Y'all are awesome. As always, thank you so much for watching the channel. Live long and prosper again. Deuces. That's me. And we'll catch you on the next one. Bye-bye. An even better outro than the intro. Yeah!